it going? I'm here with my friend Eric from Seller Rocket.
Hey,
And
Amy.
hello. And we are talking today about marketing. I think that, that's the topic of the day is marketing. And
Such
I
a
think
simple, just that's really simple topic.
it's very simple. Yes, exactly. And the thing is, so many of us in the product-based businesses, we are wanting to get our products marketed better and cheaper and more effectively and get them in front of the right audience. And there's all these things that we need to do. And one of the things that you guys do, which is so interesting, is you help sellers get their products into major media channels. And one of the biggest aspects of sales is trust.
Yeah.
And customers, when they see products in magazines like Good Housekeeping or Sports Illustrated, they instantly have that trust factor that we all work so hard to get. So I'm excited to talk with you today about what it takes, what products are good for that, what it takes, what those media outlets are looking for, so that sellers can get a better idea of how to maximize their marketing potential and get in front of some of these trusted names in the media. So before we get into that, Eric, for people that don't know you, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes. So thank you so much for having me, Amy. It's a pleasure to be on with the cat lady. I always love seeing that on your screen there. But no, it's so great to be on. And Amy's such an influencer within this ecosystem. And so thank you for the time today. So my name is Eric Suddarth. I'm a GM at Seller Rocket. So at Seller Rocket, we say that we're the leaders in editorial recommendations, both on and off of Amazon. And to Amy's point, what we do, we help advocate for brands and get your brand in front of those really influential publishers, folks like Good Housekeeping, Sports Illustrated, CNN, Forbes. These names are ones that can really put that trust behind your brand. And so it's a really cool experience. I've been a part of Seller Rocket since last July. Prior to that, I worked in a number of different roles in sales and marketing, a couple of Fortune 500 companies. And then before that was an officer in the United States Army, actually, for 5 years. So yeah, I've now been at Seller Rocket for going on about 8 months. The company's growing super fast. We work with more than 800 clients. We're nearing almost 4,000 brands that we support. And so the cool thing about this, we work with brands that are in every category imaginable on Amazon, but also we work with sellers that are located just all over the globe. And so yesterday I was talking to somebody in South Africa. I talked to somebody earlier today in the UK. We talked to folks that just sell anything you can possibly imagine, and helping them increase the awareness of their brand and that trust behind their brand. Has been a really cool experience. And this has really gained a lot of importance as there's more and more distrust of user reviews that are out there, on whether it's on Amazon or other sites. And so there's still that just trust that somebody gets when they're doing a little bit of product research. Maybe you did some research for something you bought on Black Friday. Just think about, where did you go to do that research? Did you go to Google? Did you do it within Amazon search? If you did, Seller Rocket can help that brand that folks are looking for, whether they start on Google or Amazon, to help increase that trust of your brand. So yes, it's a cool experience.
And the crazy thing is that you're right. Only 50% is going on here. Are you there? That was weird. Can you hear me, Eric? Oh, I don't know what happened. I think Eric, something happened. Hopefully you guys are hearing me right now. Can are you
Yes,
hearing me, Eric?
I hear you. You went away for a minute, but now you're back. So
Yeah,
yes, I got
it was really strange. Like all of a sudden, everything that was strange. Anyway, we're back. That's good.
you.
But
Okay.
yeah, so 50% of the traffic on Amazon doesn't come from Amazon. So
Yes.
only half of customers are actually going on Amazon looking for products. So the other half are going somewhere else. And if you've ever thought, like Eric was just saying, about buying something, you never start usually on Amazon because you heard about that product somewhere or you needed it before you went to Amazon to buy it. So it's so important to understand, like, where are your customers and how can you get in front of them off of Amazon? Because there's so many choices, right? We could do Facebook ads, we could do Instagram, we could do Pinterest, we could do, but Google is one of the biggest sources of external traffic. 60% of Amazon's external traffic comes from search. And what do they find when they search on Google? They find a ton of ranked articles from trusted domains. So if you're writing a blog on your website, your chances of that ranking anywhere on Google are pretty low. But if you have an article in Good Housekeeping about the best products for mopping the floor, your chances of showing up there in a customer search are huge. So I would love to ask you, first of all, Eric, and by the way, thank you for your service in the Army. That's awesome. I'm an Air Force veteran here, so I love that we have that in common.
Yes.
Um, yeah, so I would love to ask you, what are these media outlets looking for when they're looking for products to feature in their articles, in their reviews, in their top 10 lists, in their gifting lists? What are they looking for? Do they have criteria that products need to meet before they can be in these featured publications?
Yes, great question, and thank you for your service as well, Amy. So yes, they're definitely looking for certain things. If you can imagine, Seller Rocket works with hundreds of publishers, and these publishers are writing about every category, of product that's out there on Amazon, especially. And so they're looking for lots of content, but they want to make sure that if they are representing a brand and they're going to put their trusted name behind it, they want to make sure that it's a reputable brand, that it's a good product. And so there are a couple of ways that they do that. But one way that Seller Rocket kind of helps ensure that we're filtering and providing them, brands that are strong and competitive in their categories. We want to make sure that the brand on Amazon has at least a 4-star rating and 100 reviews. So if it's a new launch product, that's exciting, that's great. That may not be a perfect fit for some of what Seller Rocket does. So when it comes to helping get your brand featured in front of publishers that are writing editorials that live on Amazon, they kind of look for that 4-star and 100 review minimum. And then a couple of other things that we also would look for and that the publisher is going to care about, they're going to want to look at that keyword rank. So if we're talking about an editorial that lives on Amazon, they're going to want to ensure that for the keywords that the brand wants to win on, that you already have an organic rank on page 1 or preferably near the top of page 2. And this is something Seller Rocket can help a seller with. If this is not an area of expertise for you, we can do keyword consulting. But you mentioned a great point though. For off of Amazon, for Google, there's so much that we can do and help brands with. And so Seller Rocket works with a number of publishers that already have articles ranking on the first page of Google. This database has several thousand articles in it that Seller Rocket has access to. We can see all these articles, what keywords they rank on Google on first page for. And so one of the first things that we like to do when we talk to a new brand is to see, hey, do you sell products that could potentially be a good fit for one of these first page ranking articles already? As you made a good point earlier, it's not like somebody can snap their fingers and immediately show up on page 1 of Google SERP. Like that just doesn't happen. Luckily, we have some amazing publisher partners that have worked really, really hard and used some great strategy to get to page 1 for certain keywords. And so the easiest thing that we can do is if you are potentially a good fit for one of those first page ranking keywords, we can advocate on your behalf to that publisher and say, hey, look, I found another amazing dog leash brand right here that could fit into this article that you already have. You should take a look at this brand. And it's definitely a lot better than, a seller trying to go direct to a publisher and have to write new content that's going to show up on page 10 that nobody's going to see. And so we don't want that. And so, one of the first things that publisher though really is looking for, they want to make sure this is a reputable and good product. They may ask the seller to provide a product sample. Sometimes they do, but they're going to do their own research, and we help sort of filter brands that we would bring to a publisher first, just to make sure that we don't bring them something that is not going to be competitive or strong enough to fit into one of their articles.
Got it. That makes sense. So there's lots of different things. Give me an example of a product type and where it was featured, like an example of that really helped.
Yeah, sure. So I can think of several examples here. So let me think about, so there was a supplement brand that we worked with. They sold a beetroot powder, and they sold this on Amazon, but they wanted to use editorials both on and off of Amazon to help drive their sales and increase their sales. And so they worked with Seller Rocket. We advocated on their behalf to publishers, and we got them featured in a number of articles both on and off of Amazon. And within 60 days of the first articles going live, they saw a 58% overall sales lift. And so now this sales lift was not just looking at sales that went through the editorials. This is what we called an overall halo effect. And so from the first day of the articles going live to 60 days later, a 58% lift is a pretty massive lift. And so they immediately were coming to us saying, this is awesome. We want to spread this to other brands because we kind of started with this one product. And so we now work with them on a bunch of different brands. But we've seen anywhere from about a 40% lift to more than 108% lift in that halo effect with certain products. Now, it's quite variable depending on the category, the retail price of the product. There are some things that will definitely affect how much lift you'll see. And this definitely works better in certain categories than others. But what we do find, usually there's a more significant lift in product categories where folks are doing a bit more research. So sometimes if the price of the product is a bit higher, if it's something where they definitely care a lot about quality, so electronics products, people are doing a lot of research about that. We saw some amazing lift over Black Friday with a few partners, like one that was selling a pair of wireless headphones, and the lift that they saw from editorials off of Amazon was massive, like several $100,000 in just a period of a few days.
I love that example of electronics, because so many people are afraid to do electronics because they're so competitive and they don't want to compete with these bigger names. But the thing is, there's nothing stopping you, even if you're a smaller seller, as long as you have a quality product and some good reviews, right, and a decent ranking, there's nothing stopping you from getting featured in these articles. And when I was looking to buy a new HD webcam for my laptop, it was so overwhelming. I went on Amazon and I was just searching, looking, trying to decide, but there were so many pages of them. There were so many pages and I had no idea what to do. So I ended up going on Google and just saying, like, the best HD webcam for streaming, the best HD webcam for this or that. And of course I found those trusted articles, and I ended up buying this one, even though it didn't have the best reviews on Amazon compared to like some of the other ones that had like 5,000 5-stars. This one had like 4 stars. It wasn't perfect, but I trusted it more because someone had written up a full review on it. And it was like the best for the value of the product and all of that. But so I can see whether you're in supplements or electronics, or even, my pet products have been featured in a lot of major channels, and I always see a major lift of my sales on Amazon and my ranking, because this is external traffic. When somebody's coming from a trusted source and going to Amazon, it's still external traffic. It counts. It just like it counts like it counts just like you're running a Google ad. It's incredible, right? And then plus people actually going to Amazon and searching for that brand, your brand specifically, helping your brand rank for those keywords. Wow, it's just really awesome. So I think that it's a good thing. So what you're telling me is there is no bad product. There is not. Are there any products that aren't a good fit for going in these media channels?
Sure. Great question. Yeah, we normally say it's better to talk about what won't work because so many things will. So recently, Amazon decided that they did not want to approve additional supplement articles into their on-site associates program, or basically their publisher program. And so currently, Seller Rocket and really our publisher partners have been struggling to get new supplement content approved by Amazon. Now that was different at certain points last year, but as of right now, that's kind of a difficult one. Now, off of Amazon, Seller Rocket could still advocate for supplement brands and get them featured in all kinds of content. And some of our best content through publisher partners ranking first page right now are in supplement categories. So with great partners like Sports Illustrated, Bestcovery through the LA Times, The Street, The Blast. We've gotten some great featured content on first page of Google with supplement brands. But on Amazon, that's a difficult one right now. Also, Seller Rocket will not work with brands that are weapons, things that are political or religious in nature, or adult themed products. Those are kind of all off limits. But other than that, we work with brands basically all across every other category you can think of, from very small retail priced items to items that cost several $1,000s, and just really across every category. So there's really no product we probably haven't already worked with. And the cool thing about working with more than 200 publisher partners, we have certain publishers that have very specific content they want to write about. Sports Illustrated, they want to write about fitness related things, sports related products. But then we have other publishers that may write about just about anything. We have some that feature only pet products, like dog gear, for instance. They're writing all about different pet related products and things for dogs and cats, and some really interesting things that you see. There was there was this product. It was an anti-itch cat spray product, and we worked with that brand and helped get them featured in an article. And that was the first for me. I'd never heard of an anti-itch cat spray. But yes, we've seen like some really, really interesting and unique products come across our desk.
I love that. So my next question is, how do you get products into Amazon's editorials? Because you guys have a special connection with Amazon's editorial writers. And I don't know if you guys have seen this out here in listener land, but whenever you're on Amazon, you scroll down and there's this, and on most of the search pages, the major search pages, you scroll down and in the middle of the page is this giant section where it's like highly rated or top recommended. And you're like, how are my competitors' products in there? Or sometimes you find your own product in there and you don't even know how it got there. So Eric, can we talk a little bit about how does that happen? Like how are products put in Amazon editorials? What are Amazon editorials? And how do we get our products in there?
Sure. Great questions. So I'm going to start to answer this, and then I'm going to share my screen and show a couple of examples here as well. So yes, this is the secret sauce of Seller Rocket. Is we constantly have people ask, hey, I heard that you guys know how to potentially get my brand featured in an editorial that shows up on Amazon search. And the answer is yes, we do have an ability to do that. And so this really comes down to relationships that we have. So a seller could try to go directly to one of these 200 different publishers in the Amazon OSP program or their on-site associates program, the likelihood of you, one, getting anybody to return an email, a phone call is very, very low, because we've talked to many sellers that have tried this and tried reaching out to hundreds of publishers with no luck. Also, you're likely going to have to send free samples, trying to get them to look at your product and get to know it. So there's an upfront capital cost for you that you likely won't recoup. So you can try to do this direct, but you're likely to not have any success. Seller Rocket was formed because our founders, they founded a publishing company called Best Reviews a number of years ago, and they realized this. They realized that there was this issue where sellers just were struggling to figure out how to get somebody to advocate for them. Like, how can somebody help advocate for a brand to all these publishers who are somewhat disconnected and not, it's not easy to get to all of them. So our founders formed hundreds of relationships across this ecosystem and realized that if we could have this value proposition of advocating for brands, that really nobody else is doing this. And so that it's kind of a unique value proposition that we provide. But the way that we do this, so we will talk to a seller, and let's say, so while I'm talking through this example, I'm going to share my screen here. So let's try this.
Let me know when you're ready for me to show it on the screen.
Sure. Okay.
Oh, okay, there we go. I see it.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Okay. We do see it. Yes, I see the instant, the air fryer. So you're searching for best air fryer, right? And then you're scrolling down on Amazon, and what do you see in the middle of the page? Oh, highly rated editorial recommendations, the best air fryers.
Yes.
Wow.
So this is one example, and then I've got another example here in a second to show you on a different product. But this is a really common way that these editorials will show up. So you're right, I typed in best air fryer, and you can see as I scroll down, there's sponsored ads at the top. So that's common. And then we've seen there's this new highly rated section. So Amazon created this probably about 6 months ago. It's kind of similar, and sometimes people think that's the editorial section. It's not. So usually the editorials are located right below a video ad like we see here. And so whenever you see this on Amazon, it'll always say editorial recommendations, and you can see there'll be something that says earns commissions. And so if I click on this, that would take me to a page that kind of explains the way that Amazon's program works. And Amazon explains that these publishers write this content completely independent of Amazon. So Amazon has nothing to do with this content. They don't write it. They just approve the final content that's in there. So if I was to click on this article here, this would take me to this full article, which very few people ever click on this, but I just wanted to show you.
It's actually on Amazon.
It is on Amazon. Yes, but you can see it's written by the publisher. Just written a few weeks ago. And so usually they give a little bit of a overview at the top about what they looked at, the different aspects or characteristics of the air fryer, and then they will feature products. But if I go back over here, this is where most people will spend their time. So this article actually only has, it has several products in it to the right. But you can see there are 2 here. Sometimes it'll show 3. And then out farther to the right, there's some additional products. And we find that most people will look at the products featured here without having to click on this arrow to the right. And they'll make a purchasing decision right here in this rectangle. And we find that the far left position, we call this the prime position. This is usually called best overall, top product, something like that. And so if somebody was to click on this product, it'll take them to the PDP. And then if they were to add to cart and purchase, then this would be considered an attributable sale back to the editorial. And so Seller Rocket gets data every month via these publishers, which basically they're getting affiliate commissions from Amazon, which is what this link will explain. But the the data that SellerRocket provides you, you'll know, okay, this editorial on Amazon drove this many additional sales for me. These editorials off of Amazon drove this many additional sales for me. And you kind of know then like what's that overall lift you're seeing from SellerRocket's program. And so, yeah, go ahead, Amy.
Well, I'm just curious if you can, while you're there, if you could show us an example. So I love the Amazon editorials. I think it's really great. And you guys can make the recommendations for products to be featured there. But even if the product does not qualify for an Amazon editorial, there's a lot that you can do off of Amazon. And I would just love to see like what some of that looks like. What are some of these articles that we see off of Amazon?
Sure.
That you can get people featured in?
Yes, great question. So we work with a company that sells like a bronzing spray. It's kind of like a self-tanner spray. And so here's an example. So let's say that I am out on Google. I'm looking for a bronzing spray because I need to work on my fake spray tan here in February. So I'm going to do a little research, Amy. I'm trying to figure out what's that best bronzing
I'm going
spray.
on the Seller Cruise this week, so I do need a tan, right? I mean, this is good. This is very applicable to my current situation.
See, I perfectly planned this. This was not a plant, I swear. So Amy, 5 minutes after this podcast is over, she's going to go out to Google and she's going to type in best bronzing spray, right? So Amy goes out to Google. She sees there's some ads featured at the top. And then what is this first article right here below the ads that's written by the LA
Times, which seems like I haven't heard of the LA Times, but it's high up on Google and, it's Los Angeles. So it must be very special.
Yes. So this is just one example of a publisher partner that SellerRocket works with. And so if you see, there's kind of a similar write-up at the top of these articles. This is what LA Times wrote on theirs that just says, like, if you make a purchase, that there may be a commission that's paid back to the LA Times. Usually the websites will have some kind of a statement like that. But this is a very similar article to what we saw on Amazon when we click to read the full article. It's just that this is written by a different publisher and it lives on that publisher's website. So you could see this article, it has a few products featured. Like if you scroll out to the right, there's another one. And then they will do kind of the same thing. They'll rate the products and then they'll provide a link out to Amazon. So if I was to click on this product here, it'll take me to the product on Amazon. And so then if I was to like add to cart and purchase, then that would be considered an attributed sale back to this editorial. And so the cool thing about this is, like I said, we've got thousands of articles that live in this database that SellerRocket has kind of shared with a number of publisher partners. And so depending on what product you're selling, we can sort of immediately look through there and see, hey, is there other content like this bronzing spray article here that's ranking first page for a certain keyword already that we could potentially put you into? And then we do get more data from these articles than we do on Amazon. We get data about clicks.
Well, hello everyone. I don't know what is going on in this stream. Oh, here we go.
But we get a lot more data for the off of Amazon content. So that's just a quick example there of like what you might be able to see off of Amazon. So hopefully that helps provide some color there.
Amazing. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my streaming software today. It's like it keeps dropping out on me, and it seems like we're getting right back online. So it's good. We've got people watching us right now, and everything's good. So, anyways, I think that is incredible. So to wrap up what we've talked about today, Eric, we have talked about how people can get their products featured in the media with your help. Right? They can understand that there are so many opportunities both on Amazon and off of Amazon to have their products featured in these ranking websites, these trusted media providers. And the other cool thing, like, I think the last thing is just for them to understand how it works when they work with Seller Rocket. So, of course, as you mentioned, you showed us how on Amazon Editorials, we can click that link and see how the program works. And you can apply to the program yourself. Like, you can reach out to an editor yourself, but you might not get the same results that Seller Rocket, who has those relationships, have. And you can do the same thing as well. You can go to Help a Reporter Out. You can go to Harrow. There's so many other ways where sellers on their own can pursue media, right? You can pay for a press release. The big difference in working with a PR provider like Seller Rocket, in my experience, is that you're going to, number one, you already have those relationships. So number one, I'm already going to be able to expect to get to the top of the page, to get in that article that's already ranking, that's already there, versus and Help a Reporter Out, it might not be the best resource. I might get featured, but it might not be the best resource. It might not get right in front of those customers that are looking for the best bronzing spray before their cruise, right? So it's important to understand that you can absolutely do it on your own. You don't have to go through someone like Seller Rocket. But the difference is that the relationships that they have, your ROI is going to be better and the whole process is going to be faster. So speaking of ROI, what you guys do is pretty unique. You actually have this really cool dashboard where if a seller comes to you with their products and you get them featured in the media, you work off of those commissions that you make for that seller. So you're able to actually show them on their dashboard, hey, this is how many clicks this article got, and this is how many sales it led to for you, and you're charging kind of that way. So you have your initial setup fee, and then you've got your commission, which is a really great thing, because if you don't make any sales for them, it's not good for you, and it's not good for it's good for them, I guess, but not good for them, right? So you guys are incentivized to make more sales for your sellers, right? And those sellers are able to go into that dashboard and see what's working and see that they're actually getting those sales. So did you want to talk a little bit more about Seller Rocket and how everybody can get started and how that works?
Yes. Thank you so much for bringing that up. So it's very, very simple. For next steps to get started with Seller Rocket, all you have to do, send an email to launch@sellerrocket.io, launch@sellerrocket.io. And if you can't remember that, you can just Google Seller Rocket or go to our website, sellerrocket.io, and you can click on Contact Us and submit your information. And we will do a full-scale demo with you. We'll learn more about what products you sell and come up with a customized solution that works for you and your brands. But yeah, the way that Seller Rocket's pricing model works, it's a performance-based model. So if we don't help you grow, if we don't help you make money, we're not going to make money. So we are incentivized to grow your sales, to grow your GMV, your gross merchandise value. We want to see more sales coming through those editorials than what you saw before. So if we're not helping provide a sales lift for you, then we're not doing our job. And so we will work with you to come up with a recommendation for both on and off of Amazon and how we can help you grow. And in the future, we are in discussions with a number of other e-com platforms. There are a number of other sites that have seen the success of this program on Amazon. They've seen what it's helped drive. They've seen that it helps keep people on Amazon that are wanting to do product research there. So folks like Walmart, Wayfair, Instacart, they've seen this. They know what's going on Amazon. And so we're hopeful in the future that Seller Rocket will be able to work with sellers on these other e-com platforms that can help, if somebody's looking for your brand there, we can help increase the trust and increase that likelihood of conversion on that platform as well. So that's something to come in the future. But today we can help you off of Amazon on Google. Folks looking for your product, we can help you on Amazon. All you got to do, go to launch@sellerrocket.io, and we can work with you to help reach your goals.
Amazing. Yes. And I also have this information on my resources page. So you guys can go to amazingathome.com/resources, and you'll scroll down to advertising and PPC services, and you'll see Seller Rocket there. So you can click on Seller Rocket, and I have their email and everything right there for you. So absolutely check that out and give them a try. They've had great results for some of my clients, and it's kind of the cheater method. The cheater method. You're wondering how your competitors are doing that. They're using the cheater method. So, it's helpful to be able to kind of fast track you into those major media channels. So I appreciate you so much, Eric, coming out today, showing us what kind of products are good for getting in the media, which almost all of them are good. There's use cases for all of them, showing us how Amazon editorials work, how we can do it ourselves if we want to, what the benefits of that is, the best positions for that. And then just giving us information about what you guys do over there at Seller Rocket. Thank you so much for being on the show today. And thanks everybody for being here and for listening, and for bearing with us through our technical difficulties today. We look forward to seeing you guys next week. We're going to cover lots more stuff every week. We've got Neil Twa on the Seller Roundtable next week. So definitely check us out. And thank you so much for rating, reviewing, subscribing, and hanging out with me and Eric today.
Thanks, Amy.
Yes, awesome. All right, I'll see you guys next time. And leave any questions that you guys have in the comments. I happen to know where this guy lives, so I can just bug him if necessary.
She does. She does. I look forward to folks reaching out with questions. But yeah, thanks again, Amy.
All right, thanks everybody. See you next time.